In a forgotten corner of the world, where roads were cracked and dreams were even more broken, a boy named Ethan Cole was born. No hospital, no celebration, no happiness. Just a small mud house, a crying mother, and a father staring silently at the floor, worried not about the future, but about how to survive tomorrow. Ethan's family was poor, so poor that poverty wasn't a phase, it was a tradition. Generations before him had lived the same life: work hard, earn little, die unnoticed. From the very beginning, life whispered to Ethan, "Don't dream too big. This world is not made for you." A childhood without childhood. While other children played with toys, Ethan played with hunger. While others complained about homework, Ethan worried about food. At the age of 6, he learned how to stand in long lines for free bread. At the age of 8, he learned how to lie and say, "I already ate." School was a luxury. Sometimes he attended, sometimes he didn't. But whenever he did, he sat in the last row, wearing torn clothes, pretending not to notice the laughter. "Hey, beggar boy, your shoes are older than you." The words hurt, but Ethan stayed silent, because silence was safer than hope. The first dream. One evening, Ethan saw something that changed him forever. A black car stopped near the village. A man in a clean suit stepped out. Confident, calm, respected. People moved aside for him. Ethan stared. Not at the car, not at the money, but at the respect. That night, Ethan asked his mother, "Ami, how do people become like that?" His mother touched his hair and said softly, "By not giving up, even when life wants them to." That sentence planted a seed, a dangerous seed, a dream. Life fights back. Dreams are expensive. Life doesn't like poor people dreaming. When Ethan was 12, his father died at a construction site. An accident. No compensation, no apology, just a body and silence. That night, Ethan didn't cry. He grew up. The next morning, he started working, cleaning shops, carrying loads, washing dishes. His hands became rough. His back bent early. His childhood ended quietly. But every night, when the world slept, Ethan read borrowed books under a flickering bulb. Tired eyes, hungry stomach, unbreakable will. The breaking point. At 17, Ethan collapsed at work. Exhaustion, malnutrition. The shop owner looked at him and said, "Useless boy. If you can't work, don't come back." Ethan walked home slowly. No job, no money, no strength. That night, he sat alone on the floor and thought, maybe this is it. Maybe this is all my life will ever be. For the first time, he almost gave up. But hope is strange. It shows up when everything else leaves. That same night, Ethan opened an old notebook. Inside it, written years ago, were his mother's words. "Hard times don't last. Weak people do." Ethan closed his eyes and stood up. Part 2. The War Inside. The morning after. The sun rose the next morning, but nothing felt new. Ethan woke up on the cold floor, his body aching, his stomach empty. The house was silent. His mother had already left to clean other people's homes. There was no breakfast, no goodbye kiss, only responsibility. Ethan sat up slowly and whispered to himself, "If I stop now, my father sacrifices me nothing." That thought burned stronger than hunger. He washed his face with cold water and stepped outside, not knowing where to go, but knowing one thing clearly: he would not give up. Rejection after rejection. Ethan walked the streets all day, shop to shop, door to door. Do you need a worker? No. Any small job? Come later. We don't hire people like you. By evening, his feet were swollen, his hope thinner than ever. At one shop, a man laughed and said, "Education won't save you, boy. People like you are born to serve." Ethan smiled politely and walked away. But inside, something broke. Not his spirit, his fear. That night, he made a decision. If the world won't give me a chance, I'll create one. The secret struggle. Ethan found a job unloading trucks at night. The pay was small, the work brutal. Heavy boxes cut into his shoulders. His hands bled. But during the day, instead of sleeping, Ethan studied. Old books, free libraries, notes scribbled on scraps of paper. People thought he was crazy. Why study when you can barely eat? They asked. Ethan never answered, because deep inside he believed something dangerous. Knowledge was his only escape. The first failure. After months of preparation, Ethan applied for a public scholarship exam. He failed. Not by much, but enough to be rejected. When he saw the result, his hand shook. His vision blurred. All those nights, all that pain, for nothing. He went home and sat silently. His mother noticed. She didn't ask questions. She only said, "Failure doesn't mean you're weak. It means you tried." That night, Ethan cried. Not loudly, but deeply. The lowest point. Days later, the truck job ended. No warning, no payment for the last week. Ethan stood on the street, holding nothing. No job, no money, no exam success. That night, he stood on a bridge, staring at the dark water below. The city lights reflected like broken dreams. A thought crossed his mind. What if I just end this? For a moment, he leaned forward. The voice that saved him. "Son?" Ethan turned. An old man stood nearby, leaning on a stick. "You look like someone fighting a battle no one can see," the man said calmly. Ethan didn't know why, but he spoke. He told him everything. The old man listened quietly. Then he said words Ethan would never forget. "Pain doesn't come to kill you. It comes to teach you how strong you already are." The old man handed Ethan a small card, a night school address. "Come tomorrow," he said, and walked away. A new door. The next evening, Ethan entered a small classroom. No fancy building, no rich students. Just people like him, broken, tired, but hopeful. For the first time in his life, Ethan felt he belonged. He studied harder than ever before. Days turned into months, months into years. Slowly, quietly, Ethan changed.